The ocean was not calm 3 million years ago. Its waves were taller, its depths were darker, and its monsters were far more terrifying than anything known today. The shorelines of Africa and Asia were wild places where the land and sea fought each other every day. Foam rose in white walls, rocks cracked under endless waves, and storms came without warning. But nothing was more dangerous than what lived below the surface. The giant sharks. They were the rulers of the ancient seas, bigger than any predator on land, larger even than the crocodiles that hid in rivers. Their jaws were wide enough to crush bone, and their teeth were sharp as stone blades. They could smell blood from far away, and once they hunted, they never stopped until they killed. These were the oceans of 3 million years ago, and into this world stepped a fragile creature, the early human. The struggle of the tribe. On the coast, a small tribe of early humans lived. They were not yet like modern men. Their arms were long, their bodies smaller, their faces rough. They had no fire, no strong houses, and no iron weapons. But they had one thing that gave them a chance to survive: courage mixed with curiosity. The tribe's life was hard. They dug roots from the earth, cracked shells to eat small clams, and sometimes chased lizards or caught birds. But these foods were not enough. Hunger followed them every season. Children cried at night. The elders grew weak. Every day was a test of survival. Karen, the leader of the tribe, was different. He was not the strongest, but his eyes always searched for new ways. He had watched the ocean many times. He had seen shadows move beneath the water, massive, dark, and fast. He had seen dolphins leap in fear, seals vanish, and blood spread in the waves. The giant sharks ruled these waters, and no one dared fight them. But Karen also noticed something else. When a shark killed, its body floated near the shore for a long time after. Its meat was thick, its skin strong, its teeth useful. If a tribe could kill such a beast, it would not go hungry for weeks. One evening, as the sun burned red above the horizon, Karen spoke to his people with broken sounds and gestures. He pointed to the sea, then to his empty stomach, then raised his spear high. His meaning was clear. They would fight the monster of the sea. The tribe murmured in fear. Some shook their heads. Others growled in disagreement. But hunger spoke louder than fear. In the end, a small group of hunters stepped forward. They would follow Karen into the sea. The suspense of the hunt. The next morning, the hunters prepared. Their tools were simple: wooden spears with sharp stone tips, nets made from vines, heavy rocks tied with plant fibers. These were not weapons strong enough for a giant shark, but they were all the tribe had. The hunters stood on the shore, staring at the waves. The smell of salt filled their noses. The sound of crashing water shook their ears. Somewhere out there, beneath the endless blue, the monster swam. Karen held his spear tightly. His hands shook, not from weakness, but from the weight of the task. He knew many would not return. He knew the shark could tear them apart in seconds, but he also knew the tribe could not survive on roots and small clams forever. He stepped into the water. Cold waves slapped against his legs. His men followed one by one until 6 hunters waded into the shallows. Women and children watched from the rocks, their faces full of fear. They whispered prayers to the sky, begging the spirits to protect the hunters. For a long time, the water was still. The men stood, spears ready, eyes scanning. Then a shadow appeared. It was huge, darker than the sea itself, moving slowly beneath the surface. The hunters froze. The air felt heavy. The only sound was the hiss of waves. Then the shadow turned. It was coming for them. The battle with the giant shark. The water erupted. The giant shark broke through the surface with terrifying speed. Its mouth opened wide, rows of sharp teeth flashing in the sunlight. The hunters shouted, their cries echoing across the shore. One man hurled his spear. It struck the shark's side, but only scraped off skin. The beast roared, thrashing, sending waves crashing over them. Karen raised his spear and plunged it down as the shark lunged. The point sank into flesh, dark blood clouding the water. The shark twisted, jaws snapping. One hunter, Raku, was caught. His scream cut through the air as the shark dragged him under. The water turned red. Fear filled the men, but Karen shouted again, his voice sharp. He waved his arms, ordering them not to run. The tribe would never survive if they fled. Together, they must fight. The hunters circled, stabbing with spears. Some threw rocks, striking the shark's head. Others used nets to tangle its fins. The beast thrashed, waves smashing against their bodies, nearly dragging them down. But they held on, stabbing again and again. The shark's eye glowed with rage. It leapt from the water, half its body rising into the air. Its jaws snapped, nearly biting Karen in half. But he rolled aside, driving his spear deep into its belly. The beast roared, twisting in pain. Blood spread thick through the sea, attracting smaller predators. Fish scattered. Birds circled above, screeching. The hunters fought harder, their fear replaced with fury. At last, with one final strike, Karen plunged his spear into the shark's eye. The beast shuddered, its massive body jerking violently. Then it fell still, sinking slowly into the water. The ocean grew quiet. The aftermath. The hunters stood gasping, their bodies bruised, their arms shaking. Raku was gone, taken by the beast, but the shark was dead. Its massive shape floated near the surface, blood trailing behind it. Karen raised his arms, shouting in victory. The women and children on the shore cried out, their voices mixing with the wind. The tribe had done the impossible. They had killed a giant shark. Together they dragged the body to the beach. It took hours. The shark was heavier than any beast they had ever known. But when it finally lay on the sand, its size amazed them. Its mouth was wide enough to swallow a man whole. Its teeth gleamed like white stone. The tribe gathered around, staring in awe. Karen cut into the flesh with sharp stones. Thick meat spilled out, rich and heavy. The people ate until their bellies were full. For the first time in weeks, there was laughter. Children danced, honey-sweet voices rising in joy. Elders ate slowly, tears in their eyes. They would not starve. The meaning of the victory. That night, the tribe sat around the remains of the shark. They carved its bones into tools. They strung its teeth into necklaces. They shared stories of the battle, each man's courage made larger in the telling. Karen sat quietly, staring at the dark ocean. He knew more sharks would come. He knew danger would never end. But he also knew something else. The sea was not only death, it was life. It gave food, tools, and power. And if humans could face the giant shark and win, maybe they could face anything. This victory was not only for the tribe's stomachs, it was for their